Alysa Liu slams Eileen Gu's hypocritical critics as she defends fellow Olympian for representing China. Fresh from their success at the Winter Olympics 2026, Alysa Liu has wasted no time in standing up for her fellow competitor, Eileen Gu, as she called out the double standard the snowboarder faced for representing China. Both athletes are proud Chinese Americans, yet while Liu competed at this year's Games under the U.S. flag, Gu opted to represent Team China instead, sparking a vicious backlash from critics who argued she was a traitor for her decision. In the run-up to, and throughout the Olympics, Gu had explained that she chose to compete for China, despite being born in the U.S., as she wanted to provide more representation for her mother's native country. This prompted a barrage of hateful comments, including from Vice President J.D. Vance, which later gained traction on social media and even sparked resentment among some of her fellow athletes. One person who is firmly in Gu's corner, however, is Olympic figure skating champion Alysa Liu, who herself is the daughter of a Chinese immigrant who came to the U.S. in 1989. In a recent interview with the New York Times, Liu hit out at Gu's critics, as she branded them hypocritical for their double standards. In particular, Liu took issue with being branded an American hero while her fellow athlete was labeled a traitor instead. "I've known Eileen since I was 13 or something," the ice skater said. "We're from the Bay Area. She's super nice, and her mom is from China." The gold medalist continued, "I think people are hypocritical for shaming her for representing China. So in my head it's a bit hypocritical, because her mom is an immigrant. You would have told her to go back to China. Now that they are back in China, you're mad." Liu added, "And it's sport. It doesn't matter what country we represent. Sport is sport, and she has a love for competition. She has love for the game. I think that's all that matters. There's no shame in going where the opportunity is." Questions of loyalty weren't the only awkward moments Gu experienced at the Olympics this year either, as she was subjected to a ridiculous line of questioning by a reporter during a press conference after she picked up a gold medal in the women's halfpipe and 2 additional silver medals in Big A and slopestyle. Rather than focus on her success, a reporter asked if she viewed her 2026 finishes as 2 silvers gained or 2 golds lost. This prompted Gu to immediately clap back with a laugh. "I'm the most decorated female freeskier in history. I think that's an answer in and of itself. How do I say this? Winning a medal at the Olympics is a life-changing experience for every athlete. Doing it 5 times is exponentially harder. The 2 medals lost situation, to be quite frank with you, I think is kind of a ridiculous perspective to take. I'm showcasing my best skiing," she continued. "I'm doing things that quite literally have never been done before, and so I think that is more than good enough. But thank you." Alysa Liu slams Eileen Gu's hypocritical critics as she defends fellow Olympian for representing China. In the world of elite sports, athletes are often celebrated for their talent, discipline, and perseverance. Yet sometimes the spotlight shifts from their performance to their personal choices, identities, or national affiliations. Few modern athletes illustrate this complicated intersection better than freestyle skiing star Eileen Gu. When Gu chose to represent China rather than the United States, despite being born and raised in California, it ignited intense global debate. Critics questioned her motives, her identity, and even her loyalty. But among the voices that rose in defense of Gu was fellow Olympian Alysa Liu, the American figure skating prodigy who has herself navigated the pressures of international competition and the expectations placed upon athletes of Asian descent in the United States. Liu did not merely defend Gu politely. She called out what she saw as the hypocrisy behind many of the criticisms directed at the skiing superstar. Their exchange became more than a conversation about sports. It became a broader reflection on identity, nationality, and the complex realities of representing a country in the modern Olympic era. The rise of 2 young Olympians, both Alysa Liu and Eileen Gu, emerged as extraordinary talents at remarkably young ages. Their stories share striking parallels. Both are American-born athletes with Chinese heritage. Both gained international fame as teenagers, and both became symbols of a new generation of Asian American athletes reshaping global sports. Alysa Liu burst onto the figure skating scene in 2019 when, at just 13 years old, she won the U.S. Figure Skating Championships. Her technical skill, fearless jumps, and joyful personality captivated audiences. She later competed at the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing, representing the United States. Eileen Gu, meanwhile, became a phenomenon in freestyle skiing. Born in San Francisco to an American father and Chinese mother, she grew up competing for the United States before making a stunning decision in 2019. She announced she would represent China in international competitions. The move shocked many American sports fans. Yet Gu explained that the decision was rooted in a desire to connect with her Chinese heritage and inspire young athletes in China. At the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics, Gu delivered spectacular results, winning 2 gold medals and 1 silver, instantly becoming one of the most recognizable athletes of the Games. But with fame came controversy. The criticism surrounding Eileen Gu's decision to compete for China sparked heated debate in the United States and beyond. Critics questioned whether her move was motivated by lucrative sponsorship opportunities in China, where she quickly became a marketing icon. Some accused her of switching sides for financial gain. Others argued that representing China while maintaining ties to the United States was contradictory. The criticism intensified during the Beijing Olympics, when geopolitical tensions between the US and China were high. Social media became flooded with polarized opinions. For some, Gu was a cultural bridge. For others, she was a target of suspicion. But many observers pointed out an uncomfortable double standard. Athletes who change national representation are not uncommon in global sports. In fact, Olympic history is full of competitors who represent countries different from their birthplaces. Yet the backlash against Gu seemed uniquely intense. That was something Alysa Liu noticed, and she wasn't afraid to speak about it. Alysa Liu speaks out. Alysa Liu, known for her straightforward and thoughtful personality, addressed the criticism surrounding Gu during interviews and public conversations. She expressed frustration at what she saw as unfair judgment directed toward her fellow athlete. Liu described many of the criticisms as hypocritical. Her argument was simple but powerful. Athletes have long represented different countries for personal, cultural, or competitive reasons, and it is widely accepted in international sports. Singling out Gu, Liu suggested, revealed deeper biases about identity and nationality. People act like this is something new, Liu implied. But athletes switch countries all the time. Indeed, in sports such as figure skating, gymnastics, and athletics, it is common for competitors to